Hey there, I have been asked to record this video and explain what is SPF, DKIM, and DMARC and why they are very important to you and your email marketing. So when it comes to email authentication is very important because we need to set this up in a way that your email deliverability will be functioning correctly. To put that into simple terms, we would have the foundation for your email marketing. So it's very important that this is set up correctly. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you another reason to why you want to do that rather sooner than later. This is just to teach you the concept and get you to understand each one of the three email authentication protocols. The very first one that we should be talking about is DKIM. So DKIM is like your personal handwriting. So imagine that you're writing a letter. The way that you write that letter will be your DKIM. Okay, so this is your digital signature. Okay, so this is going to be something that is very unique. And if you write a letter and you show that to your mom, for example, she will know it's your letter, right? So DKIM, keep that in mind, very important. The SPF is the trusted messenger list. So let's imagine for a second that there is a castle, and in order to get to that castle, let's say you are a messenger, you need to be in the trusted messenger list. In other words, if you as a messenger try to deliver a letter to the castle, you need to be in that list. If you're not in that list, you may or may not be able to get in. Okay. And that comes to DMARC. So DMARC is the castle's defense strategy. So DMARC will compile DKIM plus the SPF. In other words, putting the whole thing together. We are going to have DKIM, your digital signature, your handwritten letter, and we're going to first check if you are the person that actually wrote that letter and nobody has done any modification to the letter. That's number one. Number two, we're going to have SPF, and we're going to check if the messenger that has been hired to send the letter to the castle is in the trusted messenger list. That's the second thing, which is SPF. And then the third thing is DMARC. So DMARC will get those two together. So DMARC will be checking and verifying what will happen depending on the outcomes of the authentication. Let me keep it super simple and give you an example. So let's say we have, let me go to the next slide. So let's say we've got the letter, and it's being the letter or the book, but it's being handwritten. Okay. And we know that nobody has tampered with that, and we know it's your handwritten calligraphy. Okay, so that's good. So we've got a green tick mark there. Then when it comes to the SPF, we are sending the right messenger, and this messenger has got their name in the trusted messenger list. In other words, the castle knows that this messenger is allowed to get inside of the castle. So then DMARC will check and say, okay, so DKIM is in place. Then it will check SPF and say, yep, the person that is here delivering that letter has their name inside of the castle's trusted messenger list. So then DMARC will say, okay, we're going to allow entry. Okay. So if one of those two were not set up correctly, let's say the messenger that went to the castle didn't actually have their name inside of the trusted messenger list, well, DMARC would pick on that and say, I'm going to deny entry. You're not allowed to enter the castle to deliver the message. Or maybe we can be a little bit more relaxed and we could say, okay, you are allowed to enter, but we are going to have caution. We don't trust you, so you're going to enter, but you're going to be escorted by the guards from the castle. From the example I showed you, DKIM, the personal handwritten letter, would be the actual email, the message itself. So once you send the email and you've got DKIM set up correctly, guess what? If anybody either opens the email before they arrive, or if anybody tries to change that email, DKIM will be in place and we're going to know if the email arrives with a different authentication certificate and so on. So what I'm trying to say here is if you have DKIM in place, we're going to know that you are the person that you said you were, and we know that your email hasn't been tampered whatsoever. In the example, we used SPF as the trusted messenger list. Okay, so in order for the messenger to go inside of the castle, they need to have their email, their name inside of the list itself. In the real life situation, the SPF will be the email provider. So you're going to have Gmail. So let's say you have a Gmail email. So you are adding Gmail as a trusted messenger, someone that can actually send emails on your behalf. Okay. You might be using Aweber, ActiveCampaign, or ClickFunnels, or anything like that. So you would also need to go and add the SPF for those unique platforms into the SPF list. Okay, and then we've got the DMARC. The DMARC in here from the example would be the castle's defense strategy. And in the real life, it will be your business defense strategy. So it's very important that you have all three in place, okay? And in here, you can clearly see that we've got DMARC as the base of the triangle, and then we've got the SPF and DKIM. So together, these three sides form a robust structure that will prevent cyber attack. So let me tell you a story real quick. We had someone that came to talk to us and they've been hacked. In other words, their entire list got stolen. So someone got into their email platform, stole the entire list, and then with that information, they went ahead and sent emails to their entire list using the business's domain address. Yes, it's possible. And they essentially just said, hey, you forgot to pay this invoice. And they sent a link to an invoice. And people, due to the relationship they had with the business, they went ahead and paid. They're like, oh my God, I can't remember this, but it's fine. I'm going to go and pay. And they paid. And then comes next month, they like, the people that paid the invoices, they went back to the business and they said, hey, I paid this invoice, but I wasn't owing you anything. Like, what's going on? And that's when they realized they got hacked. The good news is if you have DKIM, SPF, and DMARC in place, this will never happen to you because no one other than you will be able to send emails on your behalf. Okay. So that's why you also, that's another reason why you also need to implement DKIM and DMARC and SPF. So if any side of the triangle is weak or missing, it is as if our triangle is incomplete and your email security is compromised. With all three in place, you have a strong protective barrier against email phishing and spoofing attempts. The last reason that I'm going to give you is that Google and Yahoo are pushing for DMARC, forcing companies to catch up. In other words, from 2024, you must have SPF, DKIM, and DMARC in place in order for you to be able to send emails and have those emails received and sent to the inbox itself. About 85% of all emails received by Gmail, Yahoo, and so on, they are considered spam. So this is a big number. It's a big number. And if you don't want to be any statistic, if you don't want to be part of that number, as in your emails are sent to spam instead of the inbox itself, you better be prepared, and you better go and implement this configuration correctly. And there are quite a lot of things that you do need to know. And if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to DMARC, you can actually set these up and no emails will be delivered whatsoever. So it is a bit of a process to have that set up correctly, but once it is set up correctly, it works really well. Cool. So I cover more of those insights inside of my community. So I would invite you to come and join the community, and you can ask questions and we can have some brainstorming, and I can help you to increase your email deliverability. And I will be providing you with email marketing tips and tricks for better strategy, better engagement, and more sales. I hope you have enjoyed this, and take care. Have a good one.